I talked to someone recently that had a few years ago had injured his ring finger and had then gone in for a surgery. And the surgeon took his pinky finger out of its socket and moved it over to the ring finger, and he can work it just fine. And it closed the hole and just made things better for him. But it really got me thinking about the process that this surgeon went on to get to the point where he could perform that kind of a surgery. I'm sure that right out of high school he wanted to be a surgeon or a doctor, um, but it's not like right out of high school he was able to do that kind of thing. He had to go through this process of formation, changing the way that he thinks, changing the behaviors of his hands, and changing his ability to discern what needs to be done on the operating table for various different surgeries. And that was a process that would have taken a long time, but the end result was that he could do surgeries that are kind of mind-blowing for the rest of us. Spiritual formation, the goal of spiritual formation is to become like Jesus Christ. Spiritual formation is this process where a disciple of Jesus or a follower of Jesus becomes like Jesus, which sounds like a daunting task when you're starting out. When you read some of the teachings that Jesus gave, like leaving your family behind to follow him, or forgiving your brother 70 times 7, it sounds like humanly impossible to do some of the things that Jesus taught that we should do. But spiritual formation is this process whereby we put into practice the lifestyle and the teachings of Jesus Christ on a regular and daily basis. And then God does this formational work in us. And the end result is that we actually, like Paul, are able to say, "It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me." And so spiritual formation includes things like prayer and meditation and fasting and spending time in the scriptures on a regular and daily basis. And as we put these disciplines, these practices to practice in our lives, God does this incredible formational work. And it's important to know that there is effort on our part. A lot of people get hung up on the fact that we can't earn grace. We don't earn our salvation. It's a freely given gift by God. And Dallas Willard points out that although that's true, after we've received grace, we should put work in for more grace to become more like Jesus. And there's tons of examples of people doing that in Scripture and of Jesus actually teaching us to do those things. And so spiritual formation, there's a willingness on our part to do the things Jesus teaches, to put disciplines in practice that I've mentioned, like prayer, meditation, fasting. And God does this formational work where the end result is that we become forgiving without even trying. We become more compassionate. We become more self-sacrificial. And it's just like that surgeon that we talked about at the beginning, that it's not like when he gets up to do that kind of a surgery, removing a finger to the next socket, where he's all stressed out because he's been formed. That just comes natural to him. And the end result of spiritual formation is that without even trying, we are more like Jesus Christ.